views expressed on this program are those of the host, guest, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
You are listening to Living Lighter Radio. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia, with an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio.
Living Lighter provides a revolutionary way to address what's truly holding you back. We have the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter.
Join us now for a Living Lighter experience. This is Living Lighter Radio, and I'm Patricia. I'm here with my husband, Jason. Today, we're talking about being the black sheep. Are you the black sheep in your family? Are you the black sheep at work? We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. Jason, what do you mean when you say someone is the black sheep?
When a person is judged overtly or covertly about who they are, the result is shame and anger that blocks talents, abilities, and just being successful in life.
Well, okay, but why is a person judged, and why is there so much judgment in the world?
Programming. In short, it's always programming. When people are evaluated according to a specification about how they should behave, act, or think, and it's never about who they are authentically. It starts in childhood. It's all about following the rules.
Well, wait a minute. What's wrong with following the rules? You know, without rules, people and children, not that children aren't people, but people and children would be awful, wouldn't they?
Well, we've seen some examples of that.
Yeah, we all have.
But just because we're against programming doesn't mean they were against rules or good behavior, especially with children.
Okay.
It's about how you get there.
So what is the difference here? What are we talking about?
With programming, you're told, whether you're in kindergarten or as an adult, do it no matter how you feel. Do your homework. You know, I don't want to do my homework. Well, doesn't matter. Do your homework. Okay. I don't want to go to work. Well, it doesn't matter. You know, he argues with himself like this all the time.
Just kidding.
It's great pillow talk, believe me. So anyways, with the ecosystem approach, you clear away the negative feelings. So little Johnny says, I don't want to do my homework. Instead of saying, no, do it. You know, it doesn't matter how you feel that you don't want to do it. With the ecosystem approach, we say, well, okay, little Johnny, why, clear that feeling that you don't want to do your homework. Okay. And then he may say, well, it's, I don't like math, or I don't like social studies, or I don't like my teacher, or, whenever
I feel stupid.
Or
I don't get it.
I'm being bullied at school, or, it just all sorts of things come up, and then they get dealt with, and little Johnny feels seen. He feels acknowledged.
They get dealt with, you're saying, especially by using the ecosystem approach.
Exactly.
Okay.
When with programming, it's do it no matter how you feel.
Okay.
If you look at most of the self-help and advice out there about getting something done, there's some form of force, manipulation, or trickery to get yourself to do things. Now, I want to tell you that your essence, which is the center of the ecosystem approach, sees right through the trickery, manipulation. So if you're trying to get up in the morning or stop eating chocolate, for example, so you hide all the chocolate.
No, don't make me.
If you hide all the chocolate, your ecosystem, your essence knows where you hid it.
Yeah, it's true.
And it goes right after the minute things get too tough or too hairy.
Right.
But we're talking about black sheep here. So, the truth is that this programming says do it no matter how you feel about it. And you become, what happens is that authentic part of you says, I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. I don't meet the spec. Mm-hmm. And you can not meet the spec even if you're successful, because the people that start out giving you your specifications are your parents.
Usually.
Yes. Usually. It can be, if you're a person of color, it could be your environment. It could be all sorts of things.
Right.
And we've seen it, and this is what we see, is that we've become a culture of black sheep because there's so many people that don't fit in. And even the people that are able to mold themselves, to make themselves fit in, they don't feel good about it. And so what that creates...
Or they get numb to doing everything.
Yes. Typically the black sheep metaphor is where you have one black sheep and a herd of white sheep. But what we're seeing is that there's probably more black sheep out there than there are white sheep anymore, because they don't meet these programming ideas about how we should act and behave.
Okay, so those who have been discredited, and feel invisible and thrown away, so to speak, they represent significant human capital. Explain that, Jason.
That's a fancy way of saying we have so much knowledge, ability, talent that is just dormant.
In other words, it's been untouched, so to speak. Yeah. Okay.
Imagine a field of food that just hasn't been used when there's people that are starving. Right. It's, this human capital is the most valuable that we have in the world, because that's what gets things done. And we would get things done if we were able to recover that. Now, the way you recover it was with the ecosystem approach, because instead of saying you should be this way, no matter how you are, the ecosystem approach says, who are you?
Okay.
And then helps you be that in the world.
Okay. And well, first, tell the story about the two doctors. I think this is very interesting.
This is a classic example of being a black sheep in programming. But there was a study a long time ago. It was a long-term study. I think it was out of Harvard. I could be mistaken about that. But they took a scientific approach to study happiness. And one of their examples where there are two families. Both couples were long-term couples. They were, by definition, they were happy. They had all the trappings of being happy and successful. And both of the fathers were doctors. And both of these families wanted their son, in this case, to grow up to be doctors. Well, that's what happened. They both had sons. The sons grew up. They both became successful doctors. One of them thrived. The other one committed suicide.
Huh?
And they posed the question, well, why? Yeah. Well, I was jumping up and down when I was reading this because, it's like, a little kid that says, I know the answer. It's so obvious if you understand the ecosystem approach. If you've applied the ecosystem approach, you get this.
Right.
The one doctor who committed suicide, he followed the programming, but it didn't fit with him authentically. It was contrary to who he was in reality. And the first doctor who did well and thrived in that situation as a doctor was because being a doctor was kind of in line with who he was authentically.
So what you're saying is that on the first doctor that committed suicide, the son that committed suicide, what you're saying is nobody ever bothered to ask the question what he wanted.
Well, and here's where this idea of your essence or your soul is so important. In science, they know it exists, but they don't recognize it. They don't look at that.
In other words, it's never a factor.
Exactly. And this long-term study, they weren't trying to say, okay, well, what does your soul say about who you are?
Okay.
That sounds ridiculous if you ask to talk to a scientist, because they just gloss over. They don't know what that is. And the ecosystem approach is about teaching you to uncover that part of yourself that is the most fundamental and most important. And when you go there, you can never be a black sheep.
Okay. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Many have been deemed to be black sheep because they resist programming.
I have no idea what that's like, everyone.
This is a biggie. I mean, if you say I'm not going to be programmed, then there's something wrong with you.
Okay.
You're judged. Those who have been discredited, invisible, and thrown away represent significant human capital.
Okay.
Our culture, which is defined by programming, creates black sheep, pain, heartache, and shame.
Okay.
And human capital and potential can be recovered by reversing the effects of programming using the ecosystem approach.
Okay. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about black sheep stories. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a break-free parenting tip. Parenting will always be a bit of a mystery. Who knows why some parenting ideas work and others do not? Or why some kids seem to succeed despite family setbacks, while others have so much given to them and yet fail to thrive. The one thing we do know is that once you have a child, you'll never be quite the same again. Awe-inspiring emotions like overwhelming love, extreme guilt, intense frustration, and incredible joy make this job second to none. Breaking free of parenting pressures means recognizing the pieces that make us unique, the pieces that we carry with us from the past, and the pieces that are influenced by the society we live in. When we can pick and choose which pieces we want to keep around and change the others to align with our inner wisdom, we will feel more self-assured in our role as a parent.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com.
If you have a sense that you are meant for more, join Heather Allison every third Tuesday at noon Pacific as she explores an ancient, forgotten energy within us and helps us access our original archetypal blueprint. The Golden Path will help you remember the key to unlocking your life, love, success, and magic you were meant for. A key to unlocking your golden path. Visit heather-allison.com.
Stuck in a roundabout of dysfunction? Learn how to speak your truth to power with host Dr. Kathy Obear. Create real change with smart tools and smart strategies. No frills, no fluff, just life-changing conversations to help get you where you want to be. Extend your reach and become an agent for real change with Kathy Obear. For more information on Kathy and her work, please visit drkathyobear.com. That's drkathyobear.com.
Are you ready to create a life you'll really love? Then you'll want to tune in to the hit show Life Design Radio, From Adversity to Awesome with Susan DiLorenzo. Live each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. No matter where you are in your adversity story, Life Design Radio has got you covered. Get ready to feel inspired, enlightened, and motivated. For more information about working with Susan, visit SusanDiLorenzo.com.
To find answers to life's questions, you need to look within yourself. Dr. Glenna Rice brings your questionable conversations on Transformation Talk Radio each month. Tune in each month for insight into how you can live up to your full potential. Dr. Glenna is a physical therapist, certified Access Consciousness, and Access Body Class facilitator. How does it get any better than this? For more information on Dr. Glenna Rice and her work, visit glennarice.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. Today we're talking about black sheep stories. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. Hey, Jason, what's that Carly Simon song you like so much about being the black sheep?
You know, I've loved this song for a long time. It's sort of dark in a way, but it's called "Legend in Your Own Time" by Carly Simon, And you've probably heard it if you're my age or thereabouts. You can go look it up on YouTube, Legend in Your Own Time. And the lyrics say it's about a boy whose mother wanted him to grow up to be one thing, and he grew up to be something else, and he was very successful, but it's not what his mother wanted. And that's the most insidious form of programming. So here's some of the lyrics. Here's the one that gets me. And your mama used to say, my boy's going to grow up and be some kind of leader someday. And but unfortunately for the mother, that's not what he was. He was a successful singer-songwriter. They say it was about Cat Stevens. They say that she wrote it about Cat Stevens. I don't know that that's fact, but that's interesting trivia. Mm-hmm. But then the song goes on to say, well, a legend's only a lonely boy when he goes home alone. And you can just feel the pain in that. I mean, imagine being really successful, affecting all these people as a singer-songwriter. Obviously, if it was Cat Stevens, he was very successful, and but he had this dark side. If you remember a lot of his songs, they had this really dark quality to it, sort of depressed. Yes, and I'm sure that the fact that he never was able to be acknowledged for this great poet and musician that he was.
Well, wait a minute. So why is that so important, Jason? Explain that to us.
Well, when we take our programming from our parents, and if we grow up and basically our parents say to us, whether it's explicitly or implicitly, you can never live up to my standard.
Yeah.
The pain of that is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, doing this work for 20 years, that's at the core of most people's difficulty, is that pain that you didn't live up to the standard that was set for you by your parent. And a lot of times that those standards are invisible. It's just disapproving looks and disappointment. And you go home and tell your parent about some success you had, and they're not interested. It gives you a subtle message, but it's very important.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jason, talk to us about, tell us about the Cinderella thing.
Okay. So, Cinderella is a great fairy tale. And for, we were talking about it earlier, and Patricia was telling me that I had all the details wrong. So the details don't matter.
Okay.
But Cinderella is the ultimate black sheep story. And if you remember, there was a stepmother and two stepsisters, and Cinderella was the one in the back, always doing the work, doing all the washing and the cleaning. And she was all alone, and she would sing to the animals where she worked, and but there was some sort of magic that happened, and she was able to go to this ball. Her stepmother and her sisters were prepping for it, and they went, but they were ignored by the prince. And because Cinderella was dressed up and had this magic carriage, she went, and she was seen by the prince and was the prettiest one there. Now, what's important about this, couple things. First of all, that often the black sheep are the most talented, the most capable, the most have the most ability, but for some reason they're pushed aside.
Right.
And
can be various reasons.
Yes. The other thing is that typically in life, and I know most of you know this, but it's nice to have a prince come along and see who you are. And a few of you will probably think to yourself, well, there's this one person that was able to see my talent and encourage me. There's something really special about that. But if we had a critical mass of people using the ecosystem approach, the frame would be different. Instead of saying, you should be this way, the frame would be, who are you?
Right.
And how can you be who you are in the world in the most authentic and powerful way? So, Patricia, tell us about your black sheep story.
Okay. But I'm going to back up for just a second and say, my parents had zero expectations of me. They only expected that I would be nothing more than, and I'm saying this with quotes, just a housewife if I was lucky. And so it did an imprint. Well, we'll say it that way.
And there's nothing wrong with being a housewife.
Nothing at all.
It wasn't who she was.
Well, and because they never bothered to stop and take a look and see who I was. And
it was based on cultural programming at the time.
It certainly was. It truly was. But there was a few caveats in there in all of this. My mother was very talented and very creative, and she could sing and dance and she could do all kinds of things. It was great. But for me, she I have other brothers and sisters, but I was the one she didn't like the most. And she took a lot of her life out on me.
And that's because I think we talked about this, but
yes.
that you reminded her of herself that
Exactly.
she didn't like.
Exactly. And so she
projected, to use psychobabble terminology, which I don't like to use, but she projected that dislike onto you.
Well, yeah, and she had subtle ways to communicate to me that I was the black sheep. And one of the biggest ones, the ones that just jumps out all the time I could say up until I started doing the ecosystem approach, she would say to me, I'm sorry you're not the pretty one. Or does it make you feel bad that you're not the pretty one? And what it did was it created this hate of self for me. And so in my eyes, I could never do anything good enough, that any idea that had any value or went anywhere with anything. And it was very, very difficult. Then she also supported that I had no value. Birthdays were celebrated in my family. Well, they still are. And more than once, not just once, more than once, my mother forgot my birthday. And I have to tell you, it really hurt. And I always tried to go, it was okay, because I knew if I reacted in a negative way, in other words, spoke out about how much it hurt, I would pay a price. And so it wasn't until the ecosystem approach that I started clearing this stuff. And, I have to tell you, I thought it was nothing but a complete mess. Now I'm not a complete mess. But I also want you to know I'm still working on that. So,
well, it's an important story because it was more covert. I mean, missing your birthday was not. She didn't say directly, "You're not important enough for me to
remember it." Yes,
remember your birthday,
right?
But then when Patricia wanted to say something about it, to express her feelings,
yes,
which is what happens, that's how human beings function. If they're hurt, they express those feelings, and those are acknowledged in some way.
Exactly.
If they're not acknowledged, or she knows that there'd be punishment if she expressed her feelings
in some way,
that's programming.
Well, and the other thing is that. And I need to say this.
It's very subtle, too.
Very subtle. And so, in other words, some is very covert and others is very overt, meaning for whoever is receiving on or, these things are coming at, so to speak. And what I'm talking about here more than anything, when you understand that being programmed that you're not the pretty one or you're not good enough or you have no value or whatever you think your ideas don't matter, that's programming. And the programming says, I don't fit the mold of how you think I'm supposed to be. And I got to tell you, I got lucky. I got really lucky because the ecosystem approach has helped me understand, number one, I do have value. And number two, I've got all these things that I just do and I do them naturally. And, and many, many, many get to enjoy them as well as me right along with them.
When we first met, and you might have heard the story if you've heard some of our other shows, but she wasn't doing what I would consider anywhere close to where her talents, she was doing purchasing in a corporate environment. I mean, Patricia can sing. She's a great cook. She's an amazing intuitive, She's a dancer, an artist. She can be a hostess. She has all these talents, but purchasing, oh my gosh,
spending somebody else's money.
She's, it didn't make sense whatsoever. Now, a lot of people have jobs that may not fit them, but if they're allowed to have they can apply their personality to it. It can make sense. But that wasn't the case here either.
And we're going to talk about how to use the ecosystem approach, even if you're in a job you don't like. We're going to be talking about that a little bit in the next section.
And one other point that I want to make is that just like in last segment about the successful people, like the two doctors, sometimes you can be an internal black sheep. In other words, you can be internal or it can be internal or it can be external.
Right.
And it can still be as debilitating. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
People can be destroyed with negative programming and then become black sheep. Mm-hmm. Programming that defines who you should be according to someone else's standard is highly toxic. And allowing and absorbing negative programming can reduce potential, happiness, and well-being. And healing the shame and trauma is possible with clearing using an energy approach with the ecosystem approach that we use.
Okay. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about how to heal trauma, shame, and debilitating effects of being considered a black sheep. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
What is a brilliant culture and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the second and fourth Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
Have you ever wondered if there's a way to heal the deep, hidden inner issues, wounds, beliefs, and traumas? The journey into spiritual healing engages people in all areas of their lives to heal themselves and others. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Dr. Jaffe brings conversations of healing of body, mind, and spirit as he merges the excellence of traditional medicine with the beauty of spiritual healing. For more information about Dr. Jaffe, this show, and his work, visit drjaffemd.com.
Disease, one of the most dreaded words in our vocabulary. Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know traditionally we have viewed disease as a degenerative process? Disease is better understood when we view it as dis-ease in the human body. Dis-ease means without ease. Health is not merely the absence of disease. It's when every part of the body works together effortlessly, relaxed and at ease. It's that relaxed state that lets energy flow in waves through and around the entire body. Every organ has an electrical charge, and when overcharged or undercharged, dis-ease occurs. And it is an effort to go through our day. We are able to determine the exact dis-ease of the body and design a specific solution to correct the nutritional imbalance. Contact us at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at maryjanemack.com.
It's time to get your life back on Burn Bright Today with Jennifer Marcinelli. Tune in each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Learn to move from the darkness of burning out to the light of burning bright. Jennifer is redefining stress and the energetic causes of burnout, shining a light on process to get your life back. For more information about Jennifer and her work, visit burnbrighttoday.com.
Darcy Pariso is your connection to spirit, energy, and healing. You can meet Darcy in person at upcoming events throughout Seattle. Do you have questions about your animal companions, yourself, or do you desire to communicate with loved ones on the other side? Darcy will connect you and get answers. Darcy can also work with energy healing to help you and your animal companions feel more balanced and recharged. Visit darcypariso.com/events.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. We're talking about how to heal the trauma, shame, and debilitating effects of being considered a black sheep or the one that doesn't belong. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. So, Jason, what about the black sheep that have been created based on gender, color, disability, or just a weird quirk? You know, how do you heal something that shows on the outside?
You know, the truth is that the programming world that we live in is cruel and harsh.
Yes.
But your response is always under your control with the ecosystem approach. Now, ironically, with programming, the response is not under your control. You think it is, but it's not. You force yourself to act a certain way.
Yes.
But the truth is that your essence still responds in ways that can be really negative for you.
And it might not happen in that moment. I want to put that, that you're being, say, called bad names, or, something is being thrown at you, so to speak.
Exactly. And this power from your essence is something that no one else can have power over. It can't be programmed. You can't be controlled. Your essence, your soul is yours, and no one else can touch it.
Right.
And no matter how awful the abuse, whether it's in a political realm, whether it's in a family realm, they can't touch this part. And it's really, it's really inspiring, because that's you, and it's you can protect it. But with programming, you don't even know how to access it. So we always begin with healing, and we heal the part of yourself, which is your essence, so you're able to withstand incredible hardship and pain without the negative effect on you.
Okay, so how do you heal the debilitating effects of being a black sheep, Jason?
Well, you have to understand where they come from, and being programmed to believe that you should be someone or something that you're not. Here's the thing. If you were allowed and encouraged to be who you were authentically and not feel like a black sheep, the key is always clearing the negative effects. The problem is always when people tell you how to think and believe, but that creates negative energy, and that negative energy is never removed. The healing, the debilitating effects of being a black sheep always comes from removing the negative energy. It's not something you can think through. It's not something you can logic out. It's not something you can sit on a mountaintop or under a tree for 5 years and figure out. You have to clear the negative energy. And that's what's the key part of the ecosystem approach. Now, when we talk about clearing, we always talking about being specific and being constant and consistently clearing negative energy. The specific part is really important. Most people want a formula and a time frame.
Right.
And that's treating yourself like a machine. You're not a machine. And it takes as long as it takes. But if you, one thing we do know about the time frame, and I should tell you this, that it always takes longer than you expect. But
go figure. Yeah,
we think treating ourselves like a machine is quicker. But the truth is, if it works, it only works temporarily, and in reality, it takes longer.
Right. So, so treating, we all have been trained through programming to treat ourselves like machines.
Yes.
And I want you to think about something. Machines don't feel. Machines don't store hurt. Machines don't store hate or trained hate. It's really if you think of it from that perspective, then you can realize, there might be something more to this ecosystem approach than I'm getting in the moment.
And that's why being specific and clearing constantly and consistently is so critical, because there's so much negative energy in the world, and you're not going to do it by just sitting down and doing it for 5 minutes. It has to be specific. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's what distinguishes us from a lot of the other programs, is that we're very specific and we laser-like go into that part that's uniquely part of your pain, and then constantly and consistently do it.
Okay. So wait a minute. Tell us more about the processing and the timing, meaning connected to the timing.
Yes. Well, most people see immediate benefits, and you start to look different from the outside. But
it's really kind of cool, everyone.
It is.
It really is.
On the other hand, a lot of times we're so focused on how we feel inside that we're not able to perceive what happens on the outside. This happened to Patricia and I for years. We'd work on someone for the first time or so, and we'd be clearing them for an hour, and we say, well, okay, so do you feel anything? Are you able to perceive this? And then they say, no, I don't feel anything. And then they say it like a minute later, oh, but I do feel lighter. Well, what? That's something. I mean, it's one of those things. We are so focused on looking for just one specific result.
Right.
Truly, the ecosystem approach is holistic.
Right.
And even though we may be focused on a certain pain that we have, even though that pain may still feel like it's there, on the outside, on a 360 view of us, we're looking so much different. I'll tell you an example that I had the other day about a client who was working, she was really focused on some of the core trauma. And it was really harsh, and it was difficult, and it was pretty serious. And she was focused on that. But she went to a social event, and someone came up to her and said, oh my gosh, every time I look at you, you look so much younger and better.
Yeah.
And it kind of startled her, because she was so focused on that deep stuff that we've been working on for a long time, that she had no idea of how she looked to other people on the outside.
And that she is actually changing.
And doing much better.
Yes.
Yes. The benefits of the ecosystem approach happen immediately, but a lot of times we have a struggle to perceive them because we're so focused, like a machine, on a certain part.
Yes.
We're not focused on the whole machine. We're focused on, does this part work or doesn't it?
Right.
And that's what really skews our perception of how long it takes and the process itself.
Well, and the other thing about all of this is that I've yet to have anyone that's done this for a while have people say to them, they look younger, they look more beautiful, they're softer, they're more, and I'm not going to say pliable, but they're more, they fit in easier wherever they go. It's really interesting to watch it happen.
It is, and there's an ease and a calmness that it wasn't there before.
Exactly, it's quite quite interesting. So the other thing is that we find that with the ecosystem approach that we change, we gain new behaviors that are really positive for us, starting with us, and it usually ends up affecting the positive change. Affecting others around us.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
And because those are authentic to us that we never knew about because we were so focused on whether we can program ourselves or not. We didn't know about this other stuff.
And we were so covered up.
Yes.
Remember, we talk about when we have to uncover instead of be programmed, which is, really, really, really interesting to me anyway. And anybody who has any questions about this, you are more than welcome to email us. And Jason will give you that email address right now if he can think of it.
It's Jason and Patricia at livinglighter.org.
Yes.
And spell it all with no spaces.
Okay. So Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Programming is an energy that can be cleared no matter how deep it is.
Mm-hmm.
The shame, guilt, and anger of programming can last a lifetime and does take a while to remove. Healing the trauma and negative effects of being the black sheep requires specific, constant, and consistent clearing, energy work. The ecosystem approach is a path toward removing the black sheep status within yourself.
Absolutely love it. And by the way, instead of thinking this is, we need to have goals to, I have to have a goal to get rid of this, or this. Think of this as a journey, everyone. This is a journey because life is a journey, and it's what we do with the journey that matters. So, Jason, why don't you tell us how to do the energy work of clearing?
We ask that you set your intention to help other people if there's a clearing statement that we use that doesn't really apply to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you use your imagination. You can be seated or standing. Doesn't matter what your posture is. You don't have to go in the lotus position. That doesn't help in this situation. And we take a stated emotion, anger, fear, veils and illusions. Just gather those things up. When we say breathe, imagine in your mind's eye and your imagination, gather all those things up in your body and then blow them into a trash can. Now, if there isn't an actual trash can where you are, you could be driving or someplace, just using your imagination and blow it into an imaginary trash can. Don't worry about the trash can. We'll empty it, and then we go on to the next emotion.
I love it. And then we activate life force energy. By the way, life force is the most powerful, positive, amazing energy that any of us has access to. So what we do is we call in life force energy and imagine it comes in through the top of your head, goes down to your shoulders, down your arms, and then all the way down your torso, down your legs, and to the tips of your toes. I like to stop it at the tips of my toes. And when I breathe out like that, I like to bring it up from the tips of my toes and blow any negative energies that are left over out into a trash can. Just know that this is one of the best things that you can do in your life. So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you to begin your black sheep qualities or quantities, if that be the case. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Do you want the knowledge and wisdom to understand where spirituality, science, and psychology intersect? Then join the Karmic Path Radio Show with Tina and Laura on TransformationTalkRadio.com Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. Follow this charmingly, disarmingly dynamic duo as they explore how psychic ability, spirituality, and karmic law tie together. For more information on Tina, Laura, and their groundbreaking work, visit thekarmicpath.com.
Celebrating 40 years of peace through music. Dr. Pat Basili is thrilled to be partnering with Dudley and Dean Evanson, co-founders of Soundings of the Planet. Music and video created for peace and healing. Immerse yourself in benefits of music for meditation, relaxation, and stress reduction. This peaceful and meditative form of music is available for free on all streaming services. Search Dean Evanson on Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, and iTunes, or visit soundings.com for more information.
Are you ready to finally feel empowered and knowledgeable in your political stance? Let Marcia Padilla Goad educate you on exactly how important grassroots advocacy is in a relatable way to all parties and all perspectives. Tune in to Grassroots Advocacy Radio with Marcia every first Tuesday of the month at 12 p.m. Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit DynamicsInPublicAffairs.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. We're going to help you get started right now, removing some of your black sheep qualities and quantities. So, Jason, let's go.
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate any feelings that I'm a black sheep or any need to justify my feelings of being a black sheep. Take a breath. Gather those feelings up, put it into the trash can right now. And to eliminate the shame, guilt, and unworthiness that I felt all my life because I'm different. Gather all those feelings up, blow them into that imaginary trash can right now.
Here's another one that goes right along with it. And to eliminate any feelings that keep telling me over and over again, I don't belong. Nice and easy. Take a breath. Gather that up and blow it into that trash can.
And to eliminate the feelings of being judged and criticized and abused for being different. Take a breath.
And to eliminate all of the hurt and hate and hopelessness that I'm stuck in because of that. Take a breath.
And to eliminate feeling trapped in those negative feelings of unworthiness and that there's something wrong with me when it may be an illusion. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any false beliefs that say I have to stay stuck and trapped in those feelings, whether they're real or illusions. It doesn't matter. You don't have to stay stuck there. Take a breath and let them go. Good one. Good one. And to eliminate any feelings I have that make me feel like I'm a victim to this judgment and criticism and abuse for being the black sheep, be it spoken or unspoken. Take a breath and blow it out.
The veil's an illusion, so I can see that my feelings don't always tell me the truth. That's so important. Oh my gosh.
And to eliminate the anger and bitterness and resentment I have about being the black sheep. Take a breath. Blow it out.
And to eliminate feeling like a victim to other people's expectations of me. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the fear that I'm going to be stuck in all of this forever. There will be no getting out. The truth is, sure there will. Use the ecosystem approach starting right now. Take a breath.
And to eliminate my fears, worries, and anxieties I have about myself that make me a victim, especially as a black sheep. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the stress and anxiety about my daily life connected to being programmed to being a black sheep. Take a breath. And I'm going to say it a little more interesting. And to eliminate the false belief that says I have to be the Cinderella in anything and everything that I do. the Cinderella without the Prince Charming. Take a breath. That's not true. You don't have to be the Cinderella. You can be who you are. Take a breath.
And the problem with the Cinderella fairy tale is that it needs a prince. And so let's do this. And to eliminate the false belief that in order for me to be validated, I need someone outside of me to come forward and to put that slipper on my foot and to tell me how great I am. Right. Take a breath.
Even if I do wear a size 13 shoe. So, and to eliminate the deep depression and unworthiness I've been carrying all of my life from feeling like a black sheep. Take a breath.
Should we activate life force?
Sure. Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can use life force energy for anything and everything that I need, want, desire, and deserve. Nice and easy. Pull that in through the top of your head. Take a breath. Let it go all the way down your torso to the tips of your toes. Now blow out any negative energy that's hanging around.
And to activate life force so I can feel strength deep inside myself that is authentic and lasting.
Good one.
Take a breath.
I love this one. And to activate life force so I can use my essence as the source of confidence and power in my life. Take a nice breath. Pull that in. Nice and easy. Right in through the top of your head, all the way to the tips of your toes. Turn it around. Blow out any negative energy.
And to activate life force so that I know working with my essence is the way to freedom in all things in my life.
Love it.
Take a breath.
And to activate life force so I can be happy and healthy and creative and laugh and enjoy, have peace and harmony and fun in my life right now, today, and change anything and everything I need to connected to being the black sheep. Nice and easy. Take a breath. And blow it out. So, Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
Selfies.
What? Wait. What?
We're going to talk about selfies and what they say about human nature and how to uncover abilities that give you an edge in life. And it's all from understanding the human nature of selfies.
Huh. That's kind of interesting.
You have to tune in for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tune in for this one. All right. So if some part of you gets the importance of clearing your essence, use the ecosystem approach today. Mark your calendar. This is Living Lighter Radio, and we are here every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't listen at that time, our show is recorded, and you can go to our website, www.livinglighter.org, and look for the radio tab.
If you really want to have a better life and you understand if you're feeling like a black sheep, the way out is specifically, constantly, and consistently clearing. Mm-hmm. And we make it easy for you. We offer a free newsletter, and every week in this newsletter we'll have clearings. A lot of people get that newsletter, put them on their phone, and use those clearings all during the day, every day until the next newsletter a week later. So it's a great way to sign up for our newsletter. Go to www.livinglighter.org. Go to our newsletter tab, and all we ask for is your name and email address, and it's free.
Okay.
It's free. You start now. You can start the ecosystem approach. Don't wait. And if you have any comments, you're more than welcome to send us an email at Jason and Patricia, JasonAnd PATRICIA at livinglighter.org. And tell us if you have any topic requests, you can do it there. I love to be liked on Facebook. We're at livinglighter.org. And if you had some benefit today, like us, send us, leave us a comment. You can always get a preview of the next show on Facebook every week.
Okay. And we will connect next Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you are listening to Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia.
Wishing you a lifetime of living lighter.
Thank you for listening to Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly as we discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information, visit our website at www.livinglighter.org.